The pale winter sun struggled to lift itself above the horizon as Anya emerged from the Borovitskaya metro station, her boots clicking against the icy pavement. The cold bit sharply at her cheeks, turning them rosy as she pulled her wool scarf higher. A thin curtain of snowflakes drifted lazily through the air, catching the faint orange glow of passing headlights. Even in winter's grip, Moscow pulsed with relentless movement. Across the square, the Kremlin's red brick walls rose like silent sentinels, dusted with frozen crystals that sparkled every time the sun peeked through the heavy clouds. Anya paused a moment to take in the familiar sight. Strong, immovable and eternal like the city itself. Somewhere beyond the walls, a distant church bell chimed, the deep, resonant sound echoing through the cold morning stillness. People streamed around her in practiced patterns. Businessmen in dark coats power-walking to their offices, students clutching steaming paper cups of tea, and a babushka pushing a squeaky cart filled with apples wrapped in newspaper. A street vendor nearby flipped blini on a small grill, the smell of warm dough mixing with the usual city cocktail of exhaust and coal smoke. Anya's pocket vibrated. She fished out her phone with stiff fingers. A message from Sergei. Sestra, будь осторожна сегодня. Be careful today. She sighed, locking the phone and slipping it back into her coat. Her brother worried too much, though she understood why. The city had been on edge for weeks, murmurs of protests, new restrictions being whispered about in cafes, uneasy glances exchanged on metro platforms. The tension wasn't loud or chaotic. It was quiet, like snow accumulating on a rooftop, waiting for the moment it becomes too heavy. Moving again, Anya crossed the square, her boots crunching in the thin layer of fresh frost. She stopped by the old fountain, frozen solid now, its stone edges coated in a sparkling film. She touched it lightly. It felt like touching the bones of winter. For a brief moment she closed her eyes. Behind her lids, she imagined the day playing out smoothly, a calm morning at the publishing house, hot tea from the samovar, maybe even a peaceful walk home. But the uncertainty in the air pressed against her instincts. The road to the village grew narrower as Ivan steered his aging Lada through the quiet countryside. Snow-covered fields stretched endlessly on both sides, broken only by clusters of birch trees standing like pale ghosts against the dimming sky. Their branches, stripped bare for winter, rattled softly in the cold breeze, making a whispering sound that followed his car as he drove. The further he traveled from Moscow, the more the world seemed to slow down. The noise of the city and the traffic, the shouts, the endless hum of life, faded behind him like a dream dissolving after dawn. Here everything felt motionless, wrapped in winter's thick white blanket. Ivan turned onto a familiar dirt path, the tires crunching over frozen ruts. Ahead, the dim lights of his grandmother's dacha appeared through the trees. The little wooden house leaned slightly to one side, its peeling blue paint revealing the bare timber underneath. Smoke curled from the chimney in a lazy, comforting spiral. As he stepped out of the car, the cold stung his face. But the air smelled cleaner here, pine, wood smoke, and the faint scent of something baking. He climbed the short wooden steps to the porch and knocked. His grandmother opened the door with a warm, tired smile. Внук мой, заходи. You must be frozen. She ushered him inside before the cold could follow. The interior was small but cozy, lit by a soft amber glow from an old lamp. A samovar hissed gently on the table, steam rising in curling tendrils. On the walls hung faded photographs, black and white portraits of long-gone relatives, images of his parents laughing in summer fields, and oil paintings of forests painted by his grandfather. Ivan removed his coat and sat across from his grandmother. She poured tea into two mismatched mugs, the scent rich and earthy. The house creaked softly as the wind moved around it, like an old friend settling down for the night. It's so quiet here, Ivan said after a long sip. His grandmother nodded, stroking the cat curled in her lap. The quiet is good. It lets you hear your own thoughts. He stared into his mug, watching the tea swirl. The city's problems, the unrest, the pressure at work, the exhaustion, all lingered at the edges of his mind like restless shadows. But here the shadows seem softer. You came because something is heavy in your heart, his grandmother said gently.